Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR My Driver career mode here on the channel on some iRacing. Today coming at you, you got Bristol Motor Speedway as well as Richmond Raceway. Two races coming today in the truck series here as we would get ready to jump straight into the action. We're not wasting any time today. We're going to jump into things here from Bristol, as this was a track that I was looking forward to. I feel like this is one of my better tracks with pace, so I feel like if we can get our first win at any point in the season, this is the track we can do it at. There was one issue though. If you look in the right bottom of your screen in the standings, we had a NASCAR Cup Series champion in the field here today in the number 24 GMS truck, and that was Chase Elliott, your 2020 NASCAR Cup Series champion. I knew it was going to be tough, and we jumped through into qualifying. I immediately had pace. I was happy with how the truck was driving, and we set some good times in qualifying. We crossed the line and go pole here in Bristol, and we would hang on for the pole and start here at the front of the grid. So we would be alongside Chase Elliott here for 75 laps around Bristol Motor Speedway. Stage 1 and 2, both 20 laps apiece, and then the third and final stage, 35 laps, as we would get ready to take the green flag alongside Chase Elliott, our first ever pole in our Truck Series career. Can we get our first ever win? We're about to find out, as we're going to have to do it against the NASCAR Cup Series champion here of Chase Elliott as we are underway down into turn 1, 75 laps around Bristol. Not very long, and Chase Elliott proving how good he is right off the bat, goes around me on the outside through turns 1 and 2, and we are already multiple car lengths behind that Hooters number 24 GMS Chevrolet Silverado as we complete this first and opening lap. Obviously, knowing that we don't want to be abusing these tires right off the bat. That's a huge thing for me. Is I'm also using this My Driver series as a bit of a learning tool for league races I do, like the core, where tire saving becomes a necessity, and I want to make sure I can use this series to kind of learn that as well. So that's something I'm as well using, like I said, this My Driver series as a learning tool here to hopefully help me in the future when it comes to league racing stuff like the core. But you can see maybe I was being a little bit too conservative, but I hope it will help me later in this race, as John Hunter Nemechek's going to blow my doors off, go around the outside there in that number 4 truck. He's still looking for his first win on the season. As you can see, Sheldon Creed trying to peek to my inside there on the exit of turn 2. Immediately I realized there's a lot of speed up here on this outside, but I didn't want to quite run up there too much yet because I wanted to save those tires, like I said. So I would continue to run the inside for the majority of this first and opening stage, because I didn't see a need to push any issues too much at this point in the race, and we close in on the final moments of stage 1 to the final lap. Chase Elliott continues to lead the way. We continue to ride behind John Hunter Nemechek, but I could already tell that the tires were starting to come into my favor here, so I felt like we were doing a tremendous job saving in these first opening laps of this race, as Chase Elliott would come through at a turn 4 to win stage 1 here in Bristol Motor Speedway. John Hunter, myself there, you see Creed, Kraft, and you got Ben Rhodes, you got Davin Cornelius with Matt O'Brien there going at it for the final few positions there. Cornelius gets 10th place. No pit stops necessary at all here in Bristol or Richmond today, so we jump straight into the action here for the restart now. As for the start of stage 2, it is time to get amped here from Bristol Motor Speedway. There you have amped here from Bristol. Now, as you can see, stage 1 winner Chase Elliott kind of falling off here. In stage 2, John Hunter Nemechek took the lead, and then Sheldon Creed's going to go to the outside, and it looks like the AI as well, just like myself, are faster on the outside, but they don't necessarily like to run the outside, so they go to the slower lane on the inside. So very interesting to see how that's kind of working itself out as we look to the outside of that number 24 of Elliott here now as we head down into turn 3 and 4. Nemechek looking for his first win on the season here, as we're going to look to the outside of Sheldon Creed there in that Camping Road Silverado here. So we get past the 24 and we get past the number 2 of Creed, so up into the runner-up second position here, as we would quickly make work on the number 4 of John Hunter Nemechek here with less less than 10 laps to go in stage 2, looking for another stage win on the season. As we exit the corner, we blow his doors right off here on the outside, so we abuse the tires a little bit here in stage 2 to get up to the front, but I felt like we had the truck capable of doing that right now, and we come towards the end of this stage and we were well ahead of John Hunter now by over a second just about, as we had nearly 2 seconds to the 2020 Cup Series champion of Chase Elliott here. So making a good impression so far as we come down into turn 3 and 4 on this final lap here in Bristol for stage 2. We come through to win the second stage in Bristol Motor Speedway. Nemechek, Creed, Elliott there round out the top 4, and then rounding out the top 5 is Crafton there as you see Cornelius cross the line there with O'Brien there down towards the bottom part of the top 10 here now. So once again, no pit stops necessary. We jump straight through into what could be the final restart of the day here from Bristol to get this third and final stage underway. Only 30 laps of racing at Bristol Motor Speedway. That flies by here as we would get this stage underway. And I know you guys want to see some longer races, and as we progress through the storyline, through the series, you're going to see longer races. As we close in towards the Cup Series, you're going to see a lot of things change in this series, not only the rosters and the schedule, but the storyline. I'm going to add a lot of stuff to this from other games like American Truck Simulator. You're even going to see maybe some Cyberpunk a part of this storyline. You're wondering how in the world is that going to work? You'll see at some point here. Can't quite say just yet here, and of course you're going to see these race lengths get quite a bit longer in the Xfinity Series, and then of course in the Cup Series now, as we will have to make pit stops under green flag conditions in those races as well here. But you can see not the restart that I was looking for, and I have had such a tough time so far in this series getting these restarts down, as I'm feeling like I'm Jeff Gordon at this point and later in his career. He could never restart, and hopefully we can get it out of the way pretty soon. We're still new to the whole racing with AI on iRacing and getting these restarts, so I wasn't too concerned about that here as we go through the order, seeing where everybody is running. Joey Stone has had a rough season so far, not doing a whole lot of performance here in Bristol Motor Speedway today. There you saw Travis Brown running about the same area as him, and Jennifer Jo Cobb was at the bottom of the grid, but Chase Elliott actually went through to take the lead from John Hunter Nemechek, and then I was to the outside of that number 4 KBM Toyota Tundra and trying to make a move to get up into second place. Chase Elliott now leads the way with 25 laps to go here from Bristol. Can he hold on to get the win? That's the question. I want to have something to say about that. I want to get my first Truck Series win, and I'm not going to let a NASCAR Cup Series champion be the one that gets in between myself and that victory here now, as we have to clear that 4 truck first, and finally we did that on the exit of turn 4, coming through to 24 laps remaining in this race, and we quickly start to make work on that number 24 Hooters Silverado here of Elliott. As he continues to run the inside, I continue to run a lane or two up from him, and a huge run on the exit of turn 4 with 19 now coming to 18 laps remaining in Bristol there, nearly into the outside wall now. I could feel the tire wear starting to kick in. The truck was getting a lot tighter through the center of the corner, specifically right through here, but it was still good enough on the exit and on the entry to where I could really dive it in and still hammer that throttle on the exit here as we continue side by side with the 24 truck of Elliott on the exit of turn 2. Can we clear him? Yes, we do. We clear Chase Elliott there down into turn 3. We take control of this race, and now it's just all about holding on to that lead, driving away, and just hoping that no caution comes out. Less than 10 laps to go at this point. We're closing in on lap traffic, first driver being Jennifer Jo Cobb, and we would be able to get past her very easily here, and then we would actually get stuck behind these two guys right here that were side by side. We got Austin Wayne Self and Corey Roper that want to just not get out of the way, and of course, I mean, they don't necessarily have to get out of the way, but a little bit frustrating for myself. But then you see Roper, he's able to get past that number 22 of Austin Wayne Self. Don't mess with Texas. I just about gave the bumper to that right there, trying to get him out of the way now as we would get past Roper as well. So looking pretty good in these closing moments in Bristol. That lap traffic definitely brought Elliott and Nemechek closer, and then I got stuck here battling the 12 of Tate Fogelman. Elliott now the next truck behind myself as we go down into turn 3. Maybe should have chose the top right there as we approach the final lap in Bristol, looking for our first ever win in the Truck Series to the outside of the number 15 of Gray as we go down into turn 1. Elliott there within a few truck lengths now. He's right on our back bumper as we exit turn 2, getting into the back of Fogelman, saying let's get going here, as Elliott was within half a car length through 3 and 4, but we're still going to be able to hold on to get our first ever Truck Series win over a NASCAR Cup Series champion in Bristol Motor Speedway. Good work today, boys. That's awesome. Honestly, didn't think we were going to be able to win so early. Thank you. a big statement right there. Not only did we beat a NASCAR Cup Series champion for our first ever win in the Truck Series, but we also, of course, just made a statement in general coming from the open wheel scene there in Formula 2. We don't come into the oval side of things maybe expecting to be strong, but here we are with an incredible day here as we led a bunch of laps. Of course, we won stage 2 and we won the race overall there. Chase Elliott in second place. And this is going to open the door for some opportunities for maybe an Xfinity start soon now, as they saw we are capable of beating a NASCAR Cup Series champion there in Bristol. So stay tuned. We might have to talk to our agent in the next episode and hear what he has to say about us making a potential move into a part-time Xfinity ride this season, see what we can do maybe as a relief driver if we need to here, as we had some issues in practice in the next race at Richmond, as I completely cleaned out a fellow Canadian there, Stuart Friesen. Felt terrible about that, and then I pulled off the track and we would jump through into qualifying as Bristol was surprisingly calm. Richmond as well, pretty calm. For some reason, the short tracks are very calm with the AI, and the mile and a halfs are just unbelievably wild here. As you can see, a big mistake there for myself as I eliminated my first lap hitting the wall, but my second lap would be decent, but nowhere near as good of a pace as we had at Bristol as we crossed the line there to qualify in the top 10 at least here, but not very great. We're P7 here to start at Richmond, as you see quickly the rest of the order now as we would get ready to go. Green here from Richmond, John Hunter Nemechek on the front row. Very surprised to see he has not picked up a victory yet as we get this green flag out and we are underway. Michael Mrutz there in that number 48 just behind myself. A great start there for John Hunter. Travis Brown in the 0-1 on the inside there of Sheldon Creed on the exited turn 2. We're seeing a trend here in the Truck Series. Sheldon Creed, Matt Crafton, John Hunter Nemechek all running very well every single race there. As you saw, a very aggressive move from myself. Go up the inside of Ben Rhodes on the exited turn 4 now, and we move up a few positions here on this opening lap now as we continue to try and fight our way forwards to the back of Moonhead right there. Brown trying to hold that bottom the best he can here, but if he leaves it open, we got to take it now, as you do not want to be on that second lane here today like you wanted to be at Bristol, as that is just going to send you backwards there, as I nearly got into the left rear of the 0-1. But here's a move up the inside of Brown now a few laps later into turn 3. Unfortunately, we lost quite a bit of ground to the 2 of Sheldon Creed as well as the 4 of Nemechek, but we got past Brown, move up into P3. So we definitely still have a truck that's pretty strong, but I didn't know if I was maybe abusing the tires a little bit too much, because I was driving at this point in the race a lot harder than I was when I was on, say, lap 15 at Bristol just previously. So I didn't know how that was going to affect us going into the second stages. This is the final lap, by the way. I forgot to say the stages for Richmond. It's only 60 laps, so it's 15, 15, and 30 for the stages at Richmond here, as John Hunter Nemechek cruises to a stage 1 victory. We're still going to get a top 3 right there. A very strong effort there. Matt O'Brien inside the top 10. Same for Brown, as well as Michael Mrutz and Jay Cook. Todd Gilliland there at the very bottom now, rounding out that top 10. But Michael Mrutz having a strong one for the first time this season, as no pit stops, like I said, needed here in Richmond either. So we would get underway for the start of stage 2. Row number 2 on the inside now behind John Hunter. You saw a bit of wheel spin right there. That's something that I'm still getting used to as well, is the wheel spin on these restarts. I've never really had to deal with that playing, the normal NASCAR games that I play here, as we come through though on the exit of the corner side by side with the multi-time champion of Matt Crafton. We've had a couple of run-ins with him recently at the Daytona Road Course there a few episodes ago, but we've been clean with him ever since there, as we just about chomped his nose on the exit of turn 4. Nearly had another run-in, but fortunately didn't turn into one here as we dive it down into turn 1 now. Stage 2 only had 10 laps to go at this point due to the, of course, cutoff of laps with the caution in between stage 1 as well as stage 2. I also know, of course, that Richmond Bristol this episode doesn't line up perfectly with the real schedule in real life, and that's just because of the certain tracks that this game has offered with AI, and unfortunately we had to add in kind of like a substitute here, so that's why it doesn't perfectly line up. Bristol does line up, it's just the pavement version, not the dirt version here. As you see me actually let the number 88 of Crampton have the inside. At this point here, I'm realizing that our right front tire has burnt up quite significantly. I've pushed way too hard on that right front tire, and I was doing everything I could right here to continue to fight against Matt Crafton here in these closing laps of Stage 2, but I just didn't have the truck to do that, and I knew Stage 3, we might be in for quite a rough stage, because now we're going to come through to the final lap of Stage 2, and you can see I lost a bunch of ground here, well over a second to Matt Crafton there for ThorSport as we come through turns 1 and 2 for the final time. In Stage 2, John Hunter again leading the way down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4 over Sheldon Creed and Matt Crafton. So those are kind of like the big three right now so far in this My Driver series, as John Hunter comes through to win Stage 2, sweeps the first 2 stages, Crafton there in third, myself fourth. 5th place goes to Jay Cook. There you saw Cornelius Roots all up inside the top 10 as well. So some strong runs for them. Matt O'Brien as well there in 9th place. Don't have to worry about coming into the pit lane, although I did actually consider it because of the tire wear. I knew I had burnt up these tires, but I was hopeful that I could manage it well enough in Stage 3 where it wouldn't affect us too much, and it starts with getting a good restart, which we did not get, so another bit of a mistake from myself here as we go down into turn 1. We're alongside that Taco Bell truck of Jay Cook, looking to get himself into victory lane for the first time this season. Now as he's under attack, though, from that 48 Ally Financial Chevrolet Silverado of Michael Maroots down into turn 3. Maroots now has O'Brien to his outside through 3 and 4. There you see Cornelius all the way up by the wall, and multiple trucks actually going all the way up to the wall. 3 wide in the background there with Brown as well as Hill, and I think that was Haley Deegan in the one now as Cook tries to put himself out in front of me here at the end of this opening lap in Stage 3, and I know I have to fight as hard as I can here and get clear down into turn 3, but Cook sends one up the inside there through the center of the corner. He has way more momentum, but I'm able to carry it on the exit significantly better than he can here now as we have a little over 20 laps to go in this race, and that's not very long at Richmond either, just like Bristol now, as we unfortunately end up giving up the spot to Jay Cook. But then into turn 3, he goes all the way up to the wall, and I just cruise by on the inside, so I thought we were going to hold on pretty well, but unfortunately we didn't. Now as we came through to lap 43, here comes Michael Roots to my inside, and he's trying to pass us for that 4th position here, as I'm going to once again fight him just like I fought that 00 Taco Bell truck. But as these laps were going by, my tires of course getting worse and worse compared to the AI, and I just didn't have anything left at this point. Now to 9 laps to go here. A very clean race once again in Richmond now as Todd Gilliland goes up the inside. He's going to be able to cruise by just about here as we exit turn 2. I'm going to fight again down this back straightaway, but do we really have anything for him? That's the real question now, as you see Joey Stone looking at my inside as well. The 38 gets clear, no problem. Joey Stone actually putting together a top 10 run, and maybe even a top 5 run if he can pass both myself and that 38 of Todd Gilliland. First time this season, by the way, we've really had the tire wear come to affect us here in one of these races, and not the track where I really expected it to happen. Now Ben Rhodes cruises right on by here, and the handful of laps that we had remaining, 5 laps to go at this point now, as I'm starting to slip and slide on the exit of turn 2, 3 laps to go now. Cornelius right to my back bumper. We make some contact there. We've had a few run-ins so far this season, and it continues over into Richmond there as I cut him off down into turn 3, just trying to hold on to a top 10 at least here, as he's trying to pass us for 8th place. Cook just behind in that Taco Bell truck now as we're side by side with Cornelius. 2 laps to go from Richmond. It's not been our day here, at least in Stage 3, to say the least here now, as we continue side by side with that number 77 contact on the exit of turn 2 with a fellow Canadian there of Cornelius. We save it there. I just couldn't turn the car. It pushed up so hard right there into the side of him, and now we're outside of the top 10, approaching the final lap here in Richmond. 3 wide, I think we are on the exit of turn 4, the 24 of Jack Wood to my outside as we go down into turn 1 on this final lap. Matt O'Brien there on the inside of the 21 of Zane Smith. Haley Deegan to my back bumper here on the exit of turn 2 as I push up very tight against some contact with the 24. Deegan going to try to look to the inside into turn 3. I'm going to try and block, and she is not going to take it. She sends us into turn 3. We save it. A huge save right there, but now of course the tire is hot. I'm slipping and sliding everywhere. Some contact with Travis Brown as I'm sliding all over the place as we cruise to the line for a disappointing 20th place finish here, as we were top 10 with less than 5 laps to go, and we end up P20 here in Richmond. John Hunter Nemechek gets his first win of the season for KBM, and we have a very disappointing result there, of course, to end it now. So we're going to check out the finishing order before we end this episode. But that does it. I will have the points actually at the start of the next episode, not at the end of this one, and you guys will see what the point situation, playoff situation looks like. But Definitely our worst result of the season so far, other than Daytona. So a bit unfortunate, but not much we can do about it. Felt like overall we learned a lot today with the tires, and that was something, of course, that's good to have and learn early in the season. So thank you to the Going Racing members. Of course, you'll be at the end of this episode, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.